In this episode, we're gonna cut in a crossover. So let's get inside. Howdy train fans, welcome back to the Chattanooga Southern Railroad. So I'm back here at my hidden staging yard, aka Collier Yard. I'm about to cut in that crossover back here, and so I'm going to take you along for the full ride of that. We'll get you down closer where you can see it. I'm going to cover the tools and whatnot, so let's get going. All right, so I've got you positioned above the crossover so I can get you a bird's eye view of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it here. Hopefully it's not too bad, but my air handler is literally about 3 feet off to my right shoulder here. But we'll make do. Okay, it's cold out today. I don't want to freeze out my wife and daughter. So what I'm going to do is, as you saw in if you watched my short, I finally got the two turnouts. I've got them positioned basically where I want. One of the key factors was making sure that the length beyond here was long enough to handle one of my SD locomotives, which it does. Also, I wanted to make sure, because this switch machine is going to hang over the edge of the board here, I want to make sure it cleared this area back in here, because it's hidden staging, is not going to have a backdrop to it, so I don't have to worry about, you know, notching something or, you know, this, that, and the other thing. I know that there is a way to flip this throw bar to the other side. I can put the switch machine here. I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that, but just know that that's a possibility with the Atlas custom line turnouts. Okay, so in order to build this and get the right spacing for my tracks, because I did go a little wider here in this yard because it is hidden staging and I need to be able to reach in over top and see the cars and whatnot for sorting. I've got a 1-inch piece here. I think it's a 1-inch piece. No, it might be a 3/4 inch piece in here of the snap track to get the right spacing. And you'll see one thing is that these tracks aren't exactly the right spacing for this. I'm not worried about that. We're gonna make some adjustments in this anyway once this turnout is installed. So one thing you want to make sure is that when you're going to cut in a turnout like this, you want to make sure that you've got it nice, all the gaps closed, everything's aligned, ready to go. And we're going to start with this turnout first. A couple of the tools that I'm going to be using here, first and foremost, is an X-Acto knife like this with a number 11 blade. If you watched my short on or my episode on nicking the track, go back and watch that and you'll understand what I'm going to do going forward. I'm going to need a pair of needle nose pliers like this. I got to pull the track nails out of both of these tracks to pull them up to cut them. In order to cut them, I'm going to be using some Xuron rail nippers. These have been pretty well worn. I made the mistake of trying to, way back early when I first bought these in, believe it or not, high school. I tried to cut something that I shouldn't have, and it put a little ding in it. So might be time to replace those. All right, but anyway, I've also got a couple extra rail joiners here because I know I'm going to need them to put this crossover in connecting into each of the tracks. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure that when you're doing this, you know, because you're laying metal tools across your track, make sure your power's completely off. Ask me how I know. I've done that in my youth, and that's a lesson you don't soon forget. So first things first, I'm going to pull this as close to that post as I can, again, because I want to get as excuse me, as much room down here for an SD locomotive. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm right over top of that track exactly. I'm going to hold this thing down, and I'm going to take my X-Acto blade, I'm going to line it up with that rail, and I'm going to make a nick on it. and you'll feel it when it cuts in. Same with the other rail. And that's all you got to do. Don't do any more than you absolutely have to. I'm going to do the same thing on this end too. You hear that squeaking? That means it's cutting. I'm going to do it here as well. And all you need to do is do it well enough to get a visual of it. And if you did it really well, it will, the Xuron tool will literally just drop right into that. And I'll show you that here in a second. All right, without having moved anything, I've moved over to the second turnout on the second track. I'm just going to line it up with the end of that rail like that. Do a couple strokes. Come down to this far end here. Gotta hold it still. And that one there. Now hopefully, and that's another reason I block this up against this, because it gives me a really good reference point of as I pull this away, if I don't see tick marks, I can always put this back right where it was. All right, let's see what we got. So I'm gonna move that out of the way. I don't know if you can see the tick marks. I can see them. I can definitely feel them in here. All right, so let's keep going. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some track nails out. I'm actually off screen, off to the right here. Probably come in the field of view here in a second. Just using, whoops, the needle nose pliers, pushing down a little bit, flex the tie. And you definitely want to save those. I'm pulling all the nails out of this track because I want to take it out completely. And I just launched a nail. Luckily I got extras, right? Alright, so I just did this so you can see this track is now loose. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this upper track. There's one nail, two nails, three, and what I do is, and there went another one flying. How do you like that? Let me see if I can find another one here. I'm off. I know I'm off camera. Usually what I'll do is I'll just pull the nail like that, and then because I've got Homosote, I'll just smack it down in there like that. Makes it easy to grab them. Okay, now I should have that one completely. Whoop, I missed a nail. Where did I miss it? Where are you? Right there. Couldn't see him. Those blackhead nails are, especially in this low level light. Okay, so I should be pretty loose there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up till the rail joiners come loose. Now, fair warning, don't go spinning and turning this around. You will get totally lost as to where you are. Now, let's see if I can find those tick marks in here. So, I don't know if you can see this, but there's, I'll try and get it. I can't tell whether you can see that or not. There's a tick mark there. There's a tick mark there. Down here, there's a tick mark here. I'll twist it to see if hopefully the camera will pick it up, and there's a tick mark there. Okay, so now what I know I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to at least break away these two ties here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the other side, flip this thing over, right? Remember where my tick marks are, here Let's see if I can find them again, here and here. So I'm going to try and grab these two ties here. Okay. And of course, those are the ones that are fully barred on the back. So we're going to take my X-Acto blade, nip those ties. You hear it pop when it snaps through. Usually. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that. I think I'm going to pull that. Let's see, where am I? Here I am. Break that loose. Yep, sometimes ties just end up being sacrificials. Alright, so I'm going to move that off to the side. Oops. Get the trash out of the thing. Got a little shelf area behind me I can put stuff in. Alright, now I got to find the other one. And that other tick mark is right there. So I'm probably going to take all three of those since that's centered in that tie. There. So I'm going to turn that over. Got a little luckier with this one. Got oops. See if I can pop that down. There. And I want 1, 2, 3 ties, so I'm going to come to this side and back over here. There we go. I'm going to pull from the loose side, and then see how easy that popped off. I'm going to save those. Don't ask me why. Us model railroaders, we love to save stuff. All right, so now that we got that, now I'm going to warn you, if you've never used the Xuron tools, okay, you have a flush side and you have an angled side, okay? You want to make sure that the flush side is against the piece you want to keep. So in this case, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to bring it across until I feel it hit that nick, and then keeping it perpendicular, I'm going to clip it. I'm going to do this again on the other side. Felt it drop into that. There we go. All right, so now I have this piece for there. I'm going to slide down here. I'm going to turn my Xurons around so it flushes to this side because that's the part I want to keep. Let's do this one first. Just like that. Oops. Feels like that fell in. And there we go. Now I have this piece down here. Now, if I did everything right, here, we're going to double check this just to be sure. What I'm doing is I'm reconnecting this piece down here into my end bumper. Okay. And it appears that I may have picked the wrong I picked the wrong nicks. Apparently I did this somewhere before. I do not see the nick point there. Okay, well, you're getting to see some oopsies live on camera. So that being said, I'm going to come back in. I'm going to set that there. Put that here. And I'm going to re-nick these. Sorry if my fingers are in the way. I'm not sure why that didn't take. Actually, I can feel that one. I don't know why I couldn't see it. Hey, this stuff happens, right? And it's much better to have cut it too long than too short, right? Because we sure as heck don't have flex track stretchers. All right, so there they are, there and there. So I'm going to take 3 ties just like I did the last time. You get to see all the fun stuff in real time here. I'm not going to edit the oopsies out, because you all will experience them, I guarantee. Sorry, this is the one I wanted. Peel away here. Sometimes the track is very, very brittle. I've never figured out exactly why that is. Oops. Sometimes it just breaks apart just like that. Sometimes it comes away as one big piece without any problems. All right, there we go. Man, those tick marks are clear now. I don't know if you can see them. I'm going to turn the track a little bit. Hopefully the light will catch them so you can see them. Again, Xuron flush side to this side. That's the piece I want to keep. And it will drop right in there. I'm going to come at it from the other side. Right there. And you will feel it drop in. Okay? And this is why I'm saying keep it flush. So I'm going to bring this up so you can see it. See how straight that cut is versus that mess, right? So make sure you got the flush side to the side you want to keep. So we're going to chuck this piece. Since I now know I don't need that, I'm going to install this flex track piece there, and then I'm going to pull this crossover apart, and hopefully, yeah, now I am a little long on, oops, let me see here. Right there, I'm good there. I am just a hair long on this rail right here. So another beauty of the Xuron tool is that it's sharp enough that you can get a grip on just the very tail end if you just need to nip a little bit off, just like that. Just like that. This is one of those jobs where you're not going to do it in 15 minutes. Okay, I mean, you could definitely do it in 15 minutes, but I'm going to tell you right now, you will pay a price for trying to do it that fast. And let's see, now I'm in relatively good shape. It's a little shorter than it needs to be, but I think that'll work out just fine. All right, so that one I've got set. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassemble this crossover just like that. I'm going to put a couple rail joiners on this end down here. Because I want to somewhat position this crossover to double check what I'm doing here. All right, there we go. There we go. Again, I'll do some rejiggering of alignment here to make sure that all this works when I go to spike it down. So this is a dead piece I don't need. Right, look really good on a flat car. Sorry, I'm trying to clean up my workspace as I go. I'm kind of anal retentive that way, so bear with me. All right, so now I'm going to warn you. All I'm trying to do now is just to verify where these tick marks would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this tie here like this. What I don't want to do is try to re-nick it, because then I'm going to get confused, especially if this thing has shifted. So then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say this one, I'm just going to cut off that tie, right? Now I'm going to take this out. Sorry, I meant to take the 3/4 inch piece with it. Just like that. Put that back together, and I'm going to set this aside. All right. Now then, I'll set it behind me so I don't knock it off. All right, this piece is now loose. So I'm going to pull it up until it comes free. Again, don't reorient this, okay? You will have a problem. So you'll see that I got a tick. I've clipped the tie here, and I clipped the tie here. So my tick mark should be somewhere close to those points. So I'm looking down. I do see the tick mark. I do see that tick mark. Unfortunately, they're not flat across the rail. It's more, it looks like I cut this way. And what I mean by that, let me show you what, on a smaller piece, what I mean. So if you're looking at this track, what you really want to try to do is get the blade like this, okay, and cut across so you're straight across. What I was doing was I had a little bit of an angle to it like this, and so it only put a tick on the inner, on this side of the rails, okay? So I can work with that. That's not a big deal. And that's why I went back and did this, so I could find them. One of those ticks, and then here's another way to do this, is you can bring that blade across until it falls in, and then you can come down. Oops, let's try that again. Until it falls into that crevice, and then lower the blade down and cut all the way across. Find that tick mark like that. Again, it'll fall right in like that. Now I've got a tick mark that crosses over that entire piece of track. All right, so I'm going to do the other one over here. This is going to be a little harder because I can't move this flex track. I got a block wall literally right there, and this is as far as I can take that flex track piece. So I see the tick mark right there. Try to keep my fingers out of the cutting path, and then I see the other tick mark right there, just dropped right in. It's another beauty of using this technique with the, now see, I jumped right out of that. It's this one right here. All right, now then, so in order to make that work, I'm going to have to sacrifice those 3 ties right there. So I'm going to cut this. It's all right. Sometimes just trying to get it to break loose is a challenge. You know, sometimes they just pop loose like that. All right. So I can see those 2 tick marks. So now I'm going to come down here and find the other ones. Should be right near this. It is. There's a tick mark. There's a tick mark. So I'm going to want surround it. I'm going to take those ties there. This is also a little bit of a challenge because back here I'm literally standing over my septic, not my septic, my sewage ejector pump tank. So I'm doing a balancing act. So I hope you all appreciate the lengths I'm going through to do this video. Now see, this is going to be a gonna fight me the whole way. Just like this. Yep. And then they just shatter and fall apart. All right, so let me get some of this garbage. That's French for garbage. Out of the way here. All right, so now you can see I've got my two areas. So again, the piece I want to keep, okay, is here and here. Flush side to the piece I want to keep. Bring it across, and it will drop in. Oops, sorry for bumping the camera. Oops. I'm gonna flip it over. Sorry if you couldn't see that. Now I'm gonna put this one back in. I'm gonna cut it loose. And all I'm really doing is I'm trying to verify, make sure I got those across. All right, now we're gonna do this one. Again, flush side to the side you wanna keep. There's one. I don't know if you can see that where I got kind of the blade jumped up and moved that, whoops, sorry, jumped that way. I know that. So again, flush side. I'm gonna go to there. If I do a little more trimming, I can do that. All right, now I'm gonna set this. This is my no need piece. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna install this piece. Make sure my rails are seated in the joiners, and as my late father-in-law would say, two blocked up against that. Now I'm gonna bring back my other turnout, and hopefully, if I have done some solid work here, you'll see that this thing drops right in, just like that. There we go. Now, all I need to do is get some rail joiners. So I've got to make sure I got 1, 2, 3 sets. I got 3 there. Looks like I'm going to need a couple more. I can reach back. Luckily, I have those on hand. There's 3 more. So what I'm going to do to make this happen, this is going to be a little fun. So this is loose. This is connected back here. I need to connect here, and I'm going to connect to the flex track. Okay. And I do that because, one, I've got a little more running room, and I push these all the way back. And what I like to do is I like to try to bend the flex track down under. Let's see if I can get it to bite here. Sometimes I'll bring those up, and then I'll drop it down. All right, there we go. And then I can move those rail joiners forward. Kind of split the difference on the gap. There it is. And there's the first one. So I'm still connected across here. Now I need to do this one. I'm going to put the rail joiner on the flex track side, since I'm missing a lot of ties here. That allows me to push these as far back as I can. Further back the better. I'm going to cock this around like so. And now sometimes they won't slide super easy. What I do is I use a pair of needle nose pliers. I straddle the rail, not down on top of it, and I don't grab it from the sides. What I'm trying to do is drop it down on the rail and then push against the rail joiner until it slides in, just like that. Okay. All right, one last connection to make. Again, I'm going to do it on the flex track side. Sorry, I know this is a little right off camera here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to all kinds of little tricks on how to get these things to come back into alignment here. And okay, looks like we got a winner. Now we're gauged properly. This crossover has automatically gauged all this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my spikes. Let's get the tools out of here that I know I don't need. I don't need this or this anymore. All I need now are these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on these turnouts. They're the main piece that have to be straight. So I'm going to come down here and look back and just make sure that these tracks are in fact straight. And I'm going to drive a spike. Sorry, they aren't spikes, they're nails. One there. One there. I'm going to drive it actually in the little piece here because it's between the two turnouts. All right, and now that I've got that gauged, I can bring. Ooh. You squeeze too hard on these nail heads, they can and will launch. Ask me how I know that one. Okay, I'm just driving it home, and you're just seating these. Don't like drive them all the way through like you're trying to hit somebody from China on the head. That's not the goal here. You're just trying to seat those. Now I'm going to go through and finalize these in the flex track. And my first hole on the flex track is here. And again, this area back here just has to be halfway decent. This is not a beauty contest back here. The only people that are going to see this are the operators, right? And one went right back in the old hole again. Since I've got one here, all I need to do is put one here. Again, right back in the old hole. Let's see, 50-50 shot. Which one's the, yep, see, that was the original hole there. All right. Probably gonna have to go get a couple more nails since I launched about half a dozen, pulling them out, showing you what I was doing. All right, this one, I think I'm just gonna go right in between since both of the, this piece down here is relatively short. Okay. All right, and there you go. I am now connected up. The switch machines work, right? These will actually be electronically. I'm going to use the Atlas switch buttons for these because these are electronic switch machines. So, all right, let's see what we can do now. Okay, here we are. I pulled the camera back from where we were working. There's the new crossover that we put in, so we now have a left hand and a right hand. I've got a switcher here. We're gonna see if we can't pull these cars through both of these crossovers to test it out. So, little bonus operation for you. If you can imagine a train coming in from out on the main layout, pulling a string of cars, we'd probably stop somewhere right about here uncouple, and then the locomotive would pull on through. So like there. Switch the crossover, back on up. That's nice and smooth. That's what we want to see. So we're going to come back and pick up this string of cars. There's 3 50-foot flats here. 1 depressed flat. Oh, interesting. I think I got a dirty track there, dirty turnout. I'm gonna pull forward. The idea is to clear this turnout so we can back across that one. Shoot, I meant to go straight on that one. Somebody didn't flip this turnout. That somebody would be me. We shall fix that error in operations. That was an oops. Yeah, both of those turnouts would be wired together so that they'll both operate simultaneously. Same with this crossover here. So I'll flip one switch to flip both of them. Right now they're in manual operation. More wiring. Yeah, so we're going to pull clear of this one. Back up through that crossover and hope nothing derails. Well, there you have it. That's how you cut in a crossover. So finally got that second one in, and in conjunction with the one that's up here, I think that's going to really help the operations back here in Collier Yard, be able to move trains and break them down and build them back up again as we go forward. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for hitting the like button, and especially those of you that leave comments. I really enjoy those, and I do my best to make sure that I reply to all of those. If you've got any tips or tricks around what you saw here that you use, by all means throw those in the chat. Let's help everybody with that. So with that, we'll see you on down the tracks. Bye. Hey there, did you like that video? Well, check out some of these others on the screen. Don't worry, I'll wait. Enjoy.